Ho, 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 ho. Christmas at Union Station. It's simply magical.
It's one of our favorite holiday traditions.
Families, young and old, return year after year to the Durham Museum to experience the joy and magic of the season.
I love seeing the big tree and telling Santa what I want for Christmas.
I'm KETV News Watch 7's Rob McCartney.
And I'm Brandy Peterson. We hope you're enjoying your visit here at the Durham Museum and all of the magical sights and sounds of Christmas at Union Station.
But right now, we'd like to take you back in time to the beginning of Omaha's Union Station and tell you how the holiday tradition we all love began.
The building you are standing in today is actually Omaha's second Union Station. The doors here opened on January 15, 1931, and offered every amenity a passenger could want, including a 24-hour restaurant, barber shop, telegraph office, and many more modern conveniences.
Union Pacific began decorating its observation cars with Christmas trees in 1928. The first tree went up here in the Great Hall, known then as the main waiting room, back in 1932. Union Pacific brought in that first tree via railway from the Pacific Northwest, and it stood proudly for travelers to enjoy.
The 1930s and 40s were the heyday at Union Station, and it bustled with activity. During World War II, countless servicemen rolled through Omaha via the trains.
In 1940, the tallest tree up to that time went up in the main waiting room, covered in 30 gallons of aluminum paint, 400 electrical lights, and 60 pounds of tinsel. What a statement it made.
Union Station had its peak year after the war. In 1946, 64 steam engines chugged through the station daily, picking up and dropping off 10,000 passengers every day.
I worked here in the station as a red cap, and as a working red cap, I remember the amazing look on passengers when they come through the incoming gate and saw the beautifully decorated Christmas tree.
But over the next 20 years, interstates and airplanes would replace trains as the preferred means of long-distance travel.
It was sad to see the decline of the passengers riding the trains, and also the activity and the amount of people through the station.
The last Christmas tree of the station era was displayed in the main waiting room in the late 60s. The last train pulled out of the station in 1971. The building's doors were closed and locked. It was the end of an era.
Union Pacific donated the building to the city of Omaha in 1973, but it remained vacant until 1975, when the doors were once again opened as the Western Heritage Museum. According to Ron Hunter, in his book, The First 10 Years, one of his employees, Heidi Crummer, came up with the idea of Christmas at Union Station.
To mark the beginning of a new tradition, the 1975 tree was donated locally by Mr. and Mrs. Ernest Bendakovic. The 40-foot evergreen was cut down by the city forester and dropped off in the parking lot.
10 museum employees and volunteers, aided by 10 passengers waiting to board a Continental Trailways bus, managed to maneuver the gigantic tree through the doors and into the main waiting room. That first tree was bare because the new museum staff didn't have a ladder tall enough to decorate it.
But it was the beginning of Christmas at Union Station, the celebration that we all enjoy today.
I'm glad that the tradition was brought back.
Santa and I love to come here every year. We see all the good little boys and girls.
The following year, Union Pacific once again donated a grand tree for the holiday celebration. In 1985, a great-grandmother by the name of Lucille Schaff donated 3,500 ornaments from her own collection and took over the enormous task of decorating the station's Christmas tree. The 1988 tree was covered in 5,000 ornaments, 4,000 belonging to Lucille Schaff, 1,000 donated by Yonkers department stores. Lucille and her staff were quite brave, often decorating the tree from a chair suspended from the Great Hall ceiling by ropes and dangling 65 feet above the hard floor below. Lucille Schaff remained the official tree decorator until 1989. Volunteers and staff took over the decorating duties for the next 9 years.
1990 marked the last year Union Pacific would provide the centerpiece for the seasonal celebration. In 1991, for the first time in 15 years, the tree was once again donated by a couple in Omaha, and every tree since has come from right here in the metro area. While no longer providing the trees, Union Pacific has continued to be an instrumental part of the tradition by providing a dedicated crew to harvest, transport, and set up the massive tree each year.
In 1992, a 40-foot tall tree with a 28-foot wide circumference broke all 6 doors behind me as it was being dragged into the station.
I bet the museum was chilly that day.
1995 marked the 20th anniversary of Christmas at Union Station, and more than 2,500 people turned out for the tree lighting ceremony, filling the Great Hall with holiday excitement.
In 1999, Mangelson's, a local family-owned and run business, came on board as official decorators of the grand Christmas at Union Station celebration tree.
One of the best parts about being a Mangelson's employee is going down and decorating the Christmas tree down at the station.
Mangelson's employees have decorated the tree every season since, including the beautiful tree you see here today.
It gives me a whole new appreciation of decorating my own tree, where my ornaments are this big, but because you have a tree that's that large, all of our ornaments are this big or as tall as I am.
It gives me great joy to see the smiles on all the faces, young and old, and to know that I've been a part of this.
From that first tree in 1932 to the month-long Christmas at Union Station celebration we all enjoy today.
There have been many changes in this very building, but the magic of the season has always remained.
We hope you've enjoyed this brief look back at the history of Christmas at Union Station. Now, as a wise bearded man has been known to say,
ho, 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 Merry Christmas to all.
And to all, a good night.
Ho, 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 ho.